He's got some awesome bits of kit here.
But it only needs to be that long.
It looks like something out of Thunderbirds. 1958 compressor, still going strong. 1943 first aid box. I'm sure this is all in date. So a little bit nerve-wracking. Don't want to be messing up my 3-door hubs. Right, hello guys, back working on the Sierra drift mods. If you're new to the channel, basically the Jelly Slider is a project that Adam and myself have built. It's a Mark 1 3-door Sierra, used to be a 1.6 Pinto, now it's got an ST170 turbo engine in it. Sierra's geometry is notoriously rubbish for drifting, so in the previous video you'd have seen me design, prototype and build Wise Fab inspired lower arms to increase the caster and the camber and extend the track on the front, also give us clearance on the inside of the wheel on full lock. And so make sure you go and check that video out. In this video we're going to be concentrating on shortening the steering arms on the hubs, and I'm literally on my way to the legendary Carlo the Engineer at AR Valley & Sons to check out the hubs. He's had some issues with them, which I'll cover when we get there, and we're going to try and work out a solution. But I thought it'd be worth showing you guys his little setup. It's well impressive. It's all sort of old analog lathes, milling machines, and he is old school. He's, you know, he's one of those guys that doesn't do CNC machining. It's all sort of one-offs, two-offs. It's ideal for, you know, people like myself and Zach who need like an engineering approach to a problem, and he's always more than willing to help, and he's always got the answer. So go and catch up with Carlo, show you his setup and see how he's getting on with our 3-door Cozzy hubs. So this is the legendary Carlo the Engineer, and yeah, he's been working on the hubs. So far, you've managed to sort out the issue with the taper that was in the bottom.
Yeah, that's the wear has been bored out, insert fitted, and taper reamed.
Perfect, and that sits like a mil and a bit, just out, so that would be perfect. And you checked it with the ball joints.
Yep.
That all works good. And then you were having major issues with trying to face off where I built it up with weld. I'd done something weird with the heat, and it's kind
You'd applied heat to this. This is cast steel. Yeah. Maybe you thought that it was cast iron, which had to be heated before you welded it.
Yeah, that's what I did.
That's now hardened it, so the issue we've got is there's a bag full of carbide cutters. No
right, so it's made it bulletproof basically.
Yeah.
So I've just popped down because we're going to work out a solution to this. It's annoying because that should have worked in my head, but obviously I hadn't appreciated that I was going to harden it. But I think now we're going to try and cut it off and then create some kind of hockey puck with the taper in, because you don't want to risk snapping the expensive reamer that Adam's bought in here. I mean, we could persevere, snap all the cutters and our reamer and still not get the job done. So I think it's safer to do what the Polish guys do, and we'll cut it off and then we'll make something to then weld onto that, and hopefully I can get some good welds around it so it doesn't snap.
My suggestion would be to cut that off there.
Yeah.
Make a flat piece that thick, that wide, but it only needs to be that long, because you don't need that end.
Yeah, like a lollipop with the hole in the end, like out of thick steel, and then weld it onto this piece here. Would we cut into this so I can get a good weld on the web piece as well? Yeah.
The piece that I would make, I would put a slot in it that would go over that,
and then I can go all the way, wrap around it. Yeah, if I clean all that up, wrap around. The other option I was thinking was doing a polo and then a piece of tube, like thick 3mm wool tube, and then basically welding that up here, and with the intention of trying to get some weld up the tube, because the nut can go inside the tube and the taper can be on the bottom. But have you got a piece of bar that thick?
I've got flat bar, so
it's got,
I mean,
the stock.
That's, I've probably got something a little bit wider, but that's not far off what you...
I don't think, I mean, the width is there or thereabouts. It's not, I think that so long as we can get the thickness right for the taper, I think that'll work.
Well, there it is.
Yeah, but you got two of those there.
Probably find another piece.
Is there another bit there, isn't there?
Yeah.
Oh, that's actually wider. Is that
steel? That's just the ordinary EN3B.
Perfect. All right, I'm happy to go with that.
So that would be my suggestion.
Yeah, it's just annoying because if I hadn't have welded it, it would have been done by now. I'd have been taking them away. And people have done that. People have literally just drilled a hole there, tapered it, and put the ball joint on it. But I thought visually it looks a bit
I could see why you did what you did. Obviously,
it's more aesthetic. Like I wanted to put a bit more meat on it, but it's more. It does look a bit odd just having a ball joint going halfway through. Yeah.
To make that look all one piece along there, you've built that up. I can understand that. Yeah.
I just wanted to show like your setup because you've helped Zach and myself and everyone else out so much. I think it's worth showing people kind of what you do, what you offer, because you're more of like an analog, old school, as it were, engineer. One guy. You don't do mass production stuff. I've always found when I've approached like engineering firms for doing little jobs on the cars, they're not interested because they want to do 10,000 off of these little bits. Whereas you're geared up to do anything and everything really. You do stuff for aerospace, trains,
and the rail industry is what most of my work is. I mean, there is an engineering company the other side of the estate.
Yeah.
Got all 5-axis CNC machines.
But if I went in and said I want these doing, they'd say no,
something unprintable.
Yeah. Or go over to see Carlo the Engineer. Yeah. But yeah, how long has this company been running for? Because it was your dad's.
1956.
So yeah, 1956. He's got
the longest established engineering company on this estate.
I've spent many an hour down here. We end up just talking for hours, but it's and probably stopping you from doing actual work. But he's got some awesome bits of kit here, which some of that's the oldest machine, isn't it, over there?
That was American Lend-Lease during the Second World War.
Yeah.
It didn't go back to the States.
Yeah. There's an old grinder. It's got the lights in the little. Yes. It's got all the toys, and it's all. So you got lathes, milling machines. I forget what is this? A scraper or shaping machine. Big bandsaw, which I've used many a time. Yeah, it's a really cool setup. And as I said, it's handy to know someone like Carlo, because I would attempt to do stuff like this, but I'd fast get caught out. And stuff like this, I'd struggle to do at home and do it with the accuracy that's needed.
I mean, when you're buying cutting tools like that, these are really expensive.
Oh yeah, I know. But Adam's spent some money on them.
Yeah. And as you can see, I've marked
how far you've gone down to them.
I've set that up on the original one.
Yeah.
And then put that in my one.
Perfect.
To the same point, so we know that everything's all the same.
For me, it's like stepping back in time a bit. I know this is like your everyday office, but I just love the fact that it's all kind of laid out as a machine shop should be, and it's immaculate. You can tell that you're an engineer that takes pride in his work because everything's in its right place. You mostly work in Imperial. That catches me out though.
It's all Imperial.
It's always Imperial. So I'm not good with the old money. Yeah, you can see it's got all of the cutters and reamers and honing tools, and I love the old benches as well. It is cool.
Dearborn Ford Motor Company, Second World War.
Well, they just like feeler gauges.
Gauge blocks.
So they've just been machined down to.
Yeah,
so is that one?
That's 100th thou and 1/10, right up to 100th thou.
Do you use these a lot?
Every day, yeah.
Oh, really?
And that's 101 thou.
So what do you do? Do you use them to like put into a gap?
If you're going to measure a slot, say 5/16,
like a keyway or something.
Yeah, which is 5/16, which is 3/12. So you get the two.
I love the fact that they're all here as well over this amount of time. Was that 1943?
Yeah.
No one's lost one or pocketed one.
And they ring together, so you machine your slot and you try that in it, and if that fits, then you know that's
good to go. Wow.
And they are guaranteed.
Where did you get this from? Is this just something that's you've always had?
Something that Dad had, and then it's just got passed down.
That's awesome.
And then you got 900, 950, 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch, and 4 inch.
That's awesome. I love the little display, the holder box as well.
Yeah.
I've seen some action.
Yeah, that came over on one of the Liberty ships.
Yeah.
They are not on size now. They should be to within 8 places of a decimal.
Yeah.
But they're not.
See, this is where you and I differ, because you're working to those sort of precisions, and I'm like, they're thereabouts. Like a mil or two will do.
And then there's that's an equivalent set, but made by an English company called Coventry gauge.
What's this made out of?
That's made out of Bakelite.
Like Bakelite,
That's why I
wow.
thought I'd show you that.
Wow, that's awesome. And again, you've got all the bits in there.
And
If that was my set, I'd have half of it missing.
If one of them's missing,
It's written off.
It's written off. Yeah.
And plus, it'll do your OCD in the fact that you're missing a piece. Yeah, that's good.
And there's, I mean, these are really sort of like super big ones.
What machine does that fit in? This one here?
I have to take the gap out for that. That will hold.
I think did Zach asked you if you could run a wheel in that?
Yeah, that section comes out there. You can see it to there.
And then these go in.
And that will then hold a 22-inch diameter job.
Nice.
But it will only hold it
out to that far.
Only to that far.
Yeah. So it puts my little Myford to shame. This size stuff.
Myford's a good lathe. Don't get me wrong.
Got a fly press. Little hacksaw. What year is this compressor?
1958.
1958 compressor, still going strong. What make is it? BEN. BEN.
High Wycombe.
From all the way from High Wycombe up the road, and it's still running every day.
4-inch bore, 4-inch stroke.
Well, the piston's 4-inch diameter and a 4-inch stroke. Wow. It's not that noisy though, or am I making it up? From what I
start it up.
Just that, yeah?
No, twist it. That's a 7 horsepower motor in there.
Look at the size of it. I say, this is the adage, like, they don't make them like they used to, because everything in here is still up and running, and this is...
That's my little pet toy.
This Carlo's restaurant. Well, to be fair, did you restore it, or has it always been this?
No, my dad restored it.
This is awesome. This is too nice to be cutting grass, hence why it's just laid up. But Zach come over and got it running a bit better for you, didn't he?
Yeah, I put a new fuel pump on it. Zach tuned it.
Is that the belt drive down to the blades?
Yeah.
I just love even the logo on it.
1966.
It looks like something out of Thunderbirds, like the styling on it.
And that's the trailer for it.
Oh, you got a little trailer for it as well. Yeah, I love it. It's got 6-speed box in it. Or is that 6-speed on the blades?
6 forward gears, 2 reverse gears, so that's an 8-speed.
How fast does it go?
Speeds are on there. So 30s.
5.9, is that
5.9
nice?
miles an hour. Yeah, it's 3 forward, 1 reverse, then you've got a high and low range.
Yeah, even love the colours as well.
That's all
sort of the
original.
cream and blue, the off-white. That's brilliant. Oh, that little carburettor on it.
Yeah. 12 all single cylinder.
Is that a fuel tank? Yeah, I love it.
Whitworth threads, BSF threads, UNF, UNC.
Again, all Imperial craziness.
All Imperial.
Back to the old school.
All Imperial drills. This is everything here.
Yeah.
You need to reduce the thickness of it, so you put it in there.
And you just. Would it not be quicker just to put that in a mill and just run a cutter across
this
it?
is way faster. I take a 5mm cut on this in one go.
Really? What, on steel?
On steel, yeah.
Oh wow. I've only seen like videos of like the massive ones. I said like where they've got like I don't know what it is, but like a huge.
Yeah, they're called planers.
Yeah, but it's the similar sort of thing, and like it's got a tiny little cutter on it, and it like runs all the way along, and then it flicks back, and it just literally just curls a whole run of. And it's like, how does that little cutter not just snap?
It doesn't.
No. And again, there's no like coolant. There's no
coolant, no nothing.
And it's just like literally just planes
Just planes it off, and then mechanical indexing, so it goes to the end of the stroke, comes back. That table will then move forward 10 thou.
And then, so it'll click itself open and do the next cut. Okay, that's clever.
So it machine pieces of material 18 inches long.
Oh, so that's how far you got on the arm.
For the stroke.
How old's this machine? Is this 60s or earlier?
Late 60s.
Yeah. You can tell it's like the styling of it looks very Ford Anglia-esque. As I said, you can't buy machines like this anymore.
You can't.
And you were saying a lot of these types of machines just end up getting either shipped out to India or...
It used to be in India and Pakistan.
Yeah.
Now they're just sadly scrapped.
Yeah.
When I close this, apart from the lathes and maybe the grinders, the rest of it all in the scrap heap.
Yeah.
Which is a shame, because all the machines.
They all work, and they've all worked for the last half a century.
And they all do a job, but people are just not interested in this sort of stuff anymore.
No, it's sad. That's what I said. When I first come in here, I was like, this is such a cool, this is like a playground for me.
Well, literally just for filing.
Yeah, so if
Have you got different size profile files?
There's all the different shaped files.
I suppose you could just modify a hand file to go in there, couldn't you?
They got square ends on them.
Okay.
So you've got big flat files. The table tilts this way.
Oh yeah, so you can get different angles on it.
Tilts that way.
Nice. Even like the old filament bulb in it as well.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's the original screwdriver from 1950. But in the old days, when they used to make dies, they would be filed out like that. Now they're wire eroded.
Yeah. I've been to wire eroding places. Yeah.
But again, the time it takes to set up a wire eroding machine compared to that,
it's a hell of a lot quicker to wire erode it. All you do basically is just drill a 1mm hole.
Feed the wire through.
Anywhere within the aperture you want cutting out. Put the wire through it, and then just as long as you've got your computer program set out, away it goes.
You just walk away from it. It just bubbles away in the.
And they're always, most of them run, so they will run all through the night.
Yeah.
And you can also put the backing off on the dies as well by angling the wire.
Yeah. So this is your tool maker type trade. So this is the sort of stuff that you do. So you'd be making bits to go into, I don't know, milling machines and lathes. So that's your core business.
That's the core business.
Yeah. Modifying Sierra Hudson.
Few and far between.
And whatever
else. Yeah.
Literally, if anything comes in here,
you'll take a look at it.
Within the capabilities of the machinery I've got, I'll take it on. I'll have a look at it.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, no, I appreciate that.
Yeah, even the old toilet door signs are like pressed steel. The old clock as well.
Even the first aid box.
Has it still got stuff in it from like the 1960s?
Oh yeah, it's all the original bandages. And there's the date, I can't...
1943, first aid box. I'm sure this is all in date.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it is.
That's amazing. What's this? That a soap dispenser?
Yeah, barrier. That's Rosalex is a brand. That's barrier cream that you put on before you go to work to keep the grease out of your hands.
You still use it?
I don't use that, no. I've got this one in the other side that I've in there.
Oh yeah.
That's got hand washing soap in it.
Brilliant. I say I could look around here all day long. I'm gonna have to shoot though, unfortunately.
Yeah,
I'll let you crack on.
Where you going, mate?
I'll grab my coffee.
That's yours.
But no, nice one. Thanks for that, Carlo. So yeah, that's Carlo's setup, and it's literally like walking back in time. I love it in there. I do spend hours talking to him and looking around all his little trinket boxes and checking out the machines and what he does and how he does it. For me, it's fascinating. I thought you guys would appreciate it as well. And obviously, if you guys need anything made up or machined or fixed, I'll put a link to his website. Probably best his phone number, because I didn't show his office. I think he's only got a typewriter in there. Honestly, I can't recommend him enough. He's such a top bloke, so knowledgeable, and yeah, he's like, you know, a resource that you can always do with, especially when you're making crazy race cars and brackets and bits and bobs. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that little tour around AR Valley and Sons engineering workshop. I had to let him get back to work, otherwise you won't get anything done this morning. Okay, so I picked up these bits from Carlo. Basically, he's machined these. We've gone for knocking the actual pivot point inwards 5mm, because apparently it helps the Ackerman. So we've done that. However, we weren't happy with the amount of meat that was left on the inside here.
So then Carlo kindly did iteration number 2, so it's got a little bit more meat on the inside of the hull. So now I have carefully measured and chopped off the original steering arm, and I'm in the process of V-ing it all out and getting this to fit nicely on there. So I'm probably gonna TIG weld it to spot it on, and then I'll grab the MIG out and really blast it on there. Hopefully it won't fall off. That's where we're at. That's one arm V'd out, had a little tack in there just to hold it in place, and then I'm going to go fire up the big MIG. But before I do that, I'm just trying to get the other side to the same level, so that I can kind of compare the two, make sure they look and measure up the same. Obviously it'll be handy to have the same length steering arms on both sides. So a little bit nerve-wracking, spending quite a bit of time on this, a lot more than I kind of anticipated, but yeah, this isn't something I can rush. Okay, so I V'd it all out, I've got them where I think they should be, and now I'm just going to set the big MIG up and blast them. I've not done a lot of filming because it's just me grinding basically, and I just wanted to try and really concentrate on getting this right, because don't want to be messing up my 3-door hubs, and I might have already messed them up, but who knows. The key now is to get one nice big fat slug of weld round it in one pass. I'm aiming for. Put loads of heat into it. I'll probably put big tack welds just to stop it from moving about, and pop in these little tacks that I've done when I start throwing loads of heat into it. But yeah, nervous times ahead. So that's them all welded up. I kept on like touching bits in, but I don't think there's much point. I think the main weld's there. It's just me trying to make it look a bit more pretty, and less like I blobbed it in. But I might dress them up a little bit. I don't want to take any of the weld strength away, but I'll just take off some of the little bobbly bits. Time will tell as to whether that's strong enough, who knows. And before you say about heating it up, obviously I tried heating it up before and that turned it like really brittle. So we've opted to just throw the weld in and not preheat it, because it's cast steel. Yeah, it obviously does something weird to it, so fingers crossed I haven't just made it super brittle and it doesn't crack first time we're doing a skid day at speed, because that will be a problem. Right, so that's pretty much it for this video. Make sure you smash that like button, hit subscribe, and comment if you want, and the bit below. In the next video, obviously, we're going to try and mount up everything that we've got and work out. We're going to need to extend the steering arm, the drumsticks on the steering arm. So that's the next challenge. Hopefully we can get everything on the next video and actually take it for a bit of a test drive. And then going forward, Adam and I have got a battle plan to sort out the geometry on the back axle. So stay tuned for that. Obviously, there wasn't a lot of work on the actual car. I wanted to cover Carlo's workshop because I find it fascinating. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to check out the shop with all the sweet merch. And yeah, until next time, I'll catch up with you guys later. Take it easy.